Welcome to the French Drainman channel. We have a good one for you. We have a French drain system to dry out a backyard, and we have a roof runoff system to take care of all the gutter downspouts. And we're going to show you how to combine a roof runoff system with a French drain system to maximize your sweat equity. We're really flat down the side of this house. Water gets hung up in turf grass. We want to run our French drain down the side yard out to the front yard where we're going to discharge it in a city storm drain. We're going to show you how we're going to take the roof runoff system. We're going to take the gutter downspouts that are buried underground and we're going to tie them into their own separate line. We're going to teach you how to combine a French drain system with a roof runoff system. This is 228 feet of French drain. We want to dry up the side yard and the backyard. It's a really big lot, and we're going for all the ground that's around the house where people are going to be walking. We want to make sure that we tighten up the areas that there's egress and egress. The backyard does have negative slope. We have water running from the high ground towards the back of this house. It's getting hung up over here by the deck. There's a lot of trees. This is a wooded lot, so it gets a lot of shade. It takes weeks and sometimes months for this yard to dry out. We're going to give the water a place to go. Right now, the water doesn't have a place to go. It literally just saturates the subsoil, loads the soil, and it stays soft, muddy, to the point to where it can't be mowed, it can't be maintained. We're going to tighten that up. We're going to give the water a nice clear path. We're going to put down 2 perforated French drain pipes, and we're going to make a 16 by 16 trench. This should be a big enough French drain to keep this yard dry. If we move the bulk water and we don't let the water hang around, we're going to prevent the yard from getting overly saturated and so spongy and squishy that it can't be maintained. Now we're going to use 1.5-inch round rock. We want to use really large round rock. That way we're moving a lot of air and we have big voids. It does cost more money to run the bigger aggregate in your French drain system, but it's going to pay off big dividends when tree roots dry up and fall off because of all the void, all the air pockets. You don't want to use pea stone. Pea stone has a lot of sand in it. It doesn't have any void left. There's no air pockets. It stays wet, it stays moist, and tree roots thrive in pea stone. Use large aggregate. Now we're going to show you how to put a root barrier in the ground for aggressive trees. We have a silver maple here, and this tree is off and running. It's going to take out our French drain, and we know it from experience, so we want to put in some root liner. This way the anchoring roots cannot choke our system. When the roots hit our root liner, they're going to go left, right, or deep. They're not going to affect our French drain system. The reason we like to run 2 perforated French drain pipes at the bottom of the trench, they create 2 giant voids. This will hold more water. This will create more air space. The more air you have circulating through your system after you've moved the bulk water, the quicker you dry out the subsurface soil. We're using the high octane royal blue 8-slot yard drain pipe because it has the largest inlets. These inlets are going to move more air. They're going to create more air circulation. They also take in water faster than any other pipe on the market. Again, the men are creating some more root barrier. We have 2 ornamental trees that have been planted. This is going to further impede the drainage of the yard water. We have these trees right next to our drain system, so we want to make sure that we line the trench with a good root barrier. These small little trees take off quick. These whips really root in fast and they grow quickly. The roots are going to hit this root barrier, this trench liner that we put in. They're going to go left, right, and deep, and it's not going to impact our system. You don't want the anchoring roots to choke your French drain system. Now our start of our roof runoff system is right there. That was the first inline catch basin. We have a solid pipe. This is the high octane armor pipe. It's extra heavy duty. It's the thickest sidewall of any 4-inch corrugated pipe on the market. We're going to run that right on top of the 2 perforated 8-slot high-octane pipes that have all the holes in it. You want the pipes with holes in it to be on the bottom. The trench is going to fill from the bottom up, just like a glass of water. When you fill the glass of water, the water goes in the top of the glass, and you see the water fill from the bottom up. Your trench is going to be the same way. You're going to be collecting water from the top, from the sides. You're going to have water come in the trench. It's going to fill the trench. You want your perforated pipe on the bottom. Now you can see the men are tying in all the buried downspouts into a solid pipe that runs on top of the perforated pipe. And if you have a shingled roof, you want the inline catch basins to catch all that shingle gravel. Always use Y connections. Those Y fittings keep the water flowing. Water's directional, and you don't want it just slamming to a stop, so you don't want to use a T in a roof runoff system. So here's the beginning of our roof runoff system on top of our French drain system. We're isolating the two because we don't want debris in our French drain pipe. We have a perforated French drain pipe on the bottom, and we have a solid pipe on top. We're keeping all the dirt, all the rooftop pollution from plugging those inlets. We know if we build it right, we can build a French drain that lasts forever. We don't want to give it an expiration date at the time of install. You can see just how beautiful these two systems are incorporated in the same trench. The guys have the roof runoff system running on the top, all the Y connections. You have those inline catch basins to catch all the shingle gravel so they don't plug the roof runoff system pipe. We want to keep it clean of debris. We run both systems out to the front yard where they're wide together to one core and tap into a city storm drain catch basin. The bigger the French drain, the better it's going to work. You can see back here we went 18 inches wide. We just want to dry out the yard faster. We want to move more air. We want the water to fall into the French drain, not have any problem finding the French drain, and we want to evacuate it quickly. This system was a minimum of 16 inches deep and a minimum of 16 inches wide. We ended up wider in some areas, and we also ended up much deeper in other areas because we had to dig through higher ground so that we can gravity drain the water out of this yard. We connected one of the perforated pipes that were on the bottom and the solid extra duty armor pipe to a city storm drain. You can see here where the guys used Y connections to connect all the underground buried downspouts, and they use vented inline catch basins. That round circular thing that you see there, that is an inline catch basin for catching shingle gravel. It's vented, meaning that if we're froze up downstream, we end up with a freeze up in the winter, or if the city storm drain is overwhelmed, the water will come out of that vented top in that catch basin. So here's an inline catch basin to catch shingle gravel, vented so that, again, if we freeze up here in the north, or if the city storm drain becomes overwhelmed, you can still daylight your roof runoff water. You want to make sure that you can always daylight your roof runoff water under any circumstance. We love to build for these extreme conditions. You can see that Y connection. You can see that inline catch basin that's vented. You can see the solid extra heavy duty armor pipe on top of the two perforated pipes. Now this home had an irrigation system, so we're able to cut the sod off really thick as the sod cutter will go, and we can grow that on top of the French drain system. If you have a home that doesn't have an irrigation system, you're going to want to leave your French drain a little lower so that you can put sand and topsoil mixed on top of your French drain so that you can grow grass on it. If you found any of these tips helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports our channel. And if you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. If you have a video you'd like me to make, leave that suggestion in the comments section. I'm Robert Sherwood, your host, and until that next video.